We all saw what we saw, and it's going to be up to the commissioners to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
I am nothing but an honest player. No one's ever said that I've ever hooked before in my entire life. Welcome, one and all, to the very first ever inaugural first TennCom tennis trial. My name is your host, Tekub Ganuk, and this is my co-host and brother in vocal arms,
Nemos Luke. Today we are bringing you fans the hotly anticipated match. Today we are bringing you fans the hotly anticipated match between two titans of the game. Beckett One Punch Chungus takes on Simon Hercules Q.
Oh, shut up. Look over there. Our competitors, they're coming
Fighting in his TTT debut, it's the untrained, uncaged Simon Hercules Q.
So Nemo, can you give us a quick little rundown of the matchup we have today?
Of course, Tekub. That is literally my job.
Oh, stop. Hold on. Here comes
You
our
know
star
him
player.
for shilling all the tennis strings. It's One Punch Chungus.
As I was saying, it's a very interesting matchup because
This broadcast was brought to you by Beckett's Racket and String Consultation Service. If you aren't quite sure where to start in the vast sea of tennis rackets and strings, Beckett can help you find your bearings to uncover the next pearl of a frame in the depths of the marketing mumbo jumbo.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a battle between two of the tennis players of all time. First to the 10, be dead. Simon is setting to serve and start the inaugural match. He misses his first serve. It is tough, as you would say, to get your first serve in on the first game, but
I
he
heard
does
the
send
players
one in.
did not warm up before this match.
It's rumored that due to the slipperiness of the court, they did not play very much before this, but as an obligation to the fans, they wanted to go ahead with the match.
Of course, safety is always a concern, like Simon was saying on court there.
I predict these balls are going to just get heavier and slower. You might not be able to tell, but the ground is wet.
And it is good to get all of those things out so the viewers know exactly why they are so bad at what they purport to do
I
professionally.
really did not expect that to perform.
Well, these players are, like you said, true professionals, and they're willing to put their bodies on the line to
Nice serve again.
bring the best level of tennis they can.
1-2. Serve bot.
Mr. Kuehl here, he is finding his spots on the serve right off
What
the bat.
an angle on the backhand. An absolutely beautiful shot. And did you notice how calm he stayed under pressure? Now, Simon normally struggles on those short, soft balls. He doesn't quite have the finesse to caress those and bring them back down into the court in a meaningful way. But he actually played a very smart shot. Now here we have another point. This is just classic Beckett, toying with his food a little bit too much and getting himself in trouble. And Simon really capitalizes there by
He
just
found the
staying in the point
baseline
and
right
finding
there.
the baseline.
Come on!
Textbook, honestly. That's how Djokovic would have played.
I've got to stop laughing
All right.
when you say it.
Now,
No.
that is a tough service break. Too many breaks behind
rattled.
here,
5-2.
and Hercules has a nice lead. I think if Hercules can just keep, getting his serve in, finding that first serve, backing it up like he's been doing this whole time, he's
6-2.
very tough to beat for a one-punch count.
And that is all part of the game, keeping your composure when you're up. These kinds of 10-point tiebreakers can slip away so fast, even with a big lead if you're not careful. So it's going to be really important for Simon to keep his focus and keep his foot on the gas pedal. Not give Beckett any time to work his way back into this match.
That was a great return, perfectly deep into the baseline. No one's hitting that back.
I do believe Beckett called that out, though.
No.
Unfortunately, Simon just went for a little too much on that return.
No.
Is that some drama?
Now, I do believe Beckett just called Simon a cheater. We'll have to go back and watch that again. What exactly happened and slow the whole thing down.
No. Was the first one in? Eight three? No, 7-4. 7-4. All right, he's called me a cheater. Let's punish him for it.
Looks like Hercules, something's under his skin here. He's still got a nice 3-point lead though.
No pressure. Aggressive.
Ooh, and he lets that one go with an untimely double fault. That is
karma?
something him and his fans absolutely did not want to see.
7-5. Still up. Still stay
I
aggressive.
love his mentality though. Hercules, he's always thinking positive, 1 point at a time. You can tell he's a former champion in some other sport.
Love that approach off the short mid-lean approach shot.
bad.
That is
Low quality.
classic textbook 3.5
Yeah.
tennis,
I
and I
mean-
really like to see that pay off.
He just knows One Punch Chungus is not taking one more step up.
That was a huge return by Simon. This is unbelievable. He's pressing forward, and he is getting the point. What a drop shot finish. That is construction, and the fans are loving what they're
Well,
seeing.
not all the fans. I love this reverse angle. Really shows how hard these guys are hitting, competing out here.
5-9.
And you can still see the sheen of the court, and you can tell
That
there
point.
is standing water on where they're playing. That is really going to continue to affect not only their movement, but the heaviness of the ball as they're playing through these matches.
Oh! We got 2 opportunities to serve it out. That's 4 first serves. 9-6. 9-6. Come on. We are just going for it. Full send.
Up, he puts it down. Simon with a classic, unbelievable finish. Normally he would shank those, but he knows that this is important. He has people here betting money on him.
Well,
he has people
look
here
at the
cheering for
look
him.
at the hang time on that verse.
Yes!
That's air
Unbelievable. That was a slam dunk.
Then he takes the first.
That is-
That's would you call that an upset, taking the first as the untrained player in this match, self-taught?
Well, you know, classically in a game like tennis where it's this complicated, someone with less training can bring in an extra dynamic that can be really hard to deal with for people, even with much more experience. It's going to be interesting to see how Beckett learns and adjusts his style to kind of figure out the new questions Simon's asking him across the court, and see if he can overcome some of the challenges he faced in that first match.
I think one of the big keys going into the second tiebreaker here is how will Hercules deal with the much wetter side? Movement, you can tell, is not Hercules' strongest part of his game. He's a real serve-bot bone breaker, and unfortunately, that means he's not the lightest on his feet, which is tough in the wet conditions.
Well, he is 6'4", 230 pounds, and that is hard to move in the best of conditions. But with old shoes on a wet side of the court, this is going to be a Herculean task to win this match.
Nice shot.
I think there must be something with the court speed as well. It looked like Hercules' slice just didn't knife in the same way, giving One Punch Chungus that extra time to curl that ball past.
He did just put it too shallow, and it ended up being right in One Punch Chungus' wheelhouse. That kind of stringy wrist forehand is something he absolutely loves to hit. And you can just tell by the way Beckett's playing here that he is much more comfortable on this side for whatever reason.
He's already got a nice 2-0 lead, little mini break secured. Percentage return.
That was quite poorly mistimed by Simon. I would say that wasn't even in the same postal code by the time that ball landed on the ground. There is something seriously going on with his strokes that he's going to need to solve quickly if he wants to get this done.
That was just more of the toying that we see sometimes when Punch Chungus get a little bit too carried away with. We'll see if he can actually keep his discipline moving forward as the match progresses.
But it is part of Beckett's ethos to
try as little as he can.
To play with his food, to allow the point to breathe, to get the most amount of work from his opponent as he tries to win the point in the least efficient way possible. It is a signature move by him, and it pays off there, not only for that point, but likely for the next couple of points, as Simon will be both tired and frustrated with how that last point went. It's going to be really important for Hercules to let that point go and start fresh.
0-5.
And like you said, this is now 6-0 down. Hercules, is he just going to throw this one away and try to reset and regroup, or do you think he'll fight for it, try to really remind One Punch Chungus of his presence out there today?
If I was his coach, I'd be telling him, you need to keep trying in this set because you only have 4 more points to lose before you start the next match. And if you cannot get some semblance of pace, of control back by the time that third set starts, it's going to be really difficult to not let that one go as well. It's going to be on Hercules to find his way to make this a respectable set so that he sets the tone for the third and lets Beckett know that he's still in this and he still wants to win.
And there he is, just like you said, he put his head down, he saw that 6-0, didn't want it to be a what's up 7-0, and we're at 6-2 here. And that's a quick 6-3. Like, he's not back yet, but that's a great turnaround in mentality.
That is one of the things about these 10-point tiebreakers is they come and go at lightning speeds.
Under the pressure you are. That was clutch. Huge clutch factor. 4-6. And again. Rinse and repeat.
Oh, did you see that sliding backhand?
That is unbelievable movement, and that comes only from an 8-month training camp that Beckett One Punch Chungus spent in Winnipeg preparing for this match specifically. And it's really impressive to see the dedication that it takes to quit your job, to move to a worse place, I don't know where that could possibly be than Winnipeg, and to just set your mind to one task, beating Hercules at tennis. Really admirable stuff from Beckett Chungus here.
Oh, nice shot.
And you know, since that kind of momentum shift, it seems like things have really stabilized.
Not much to do when he serves a second serve accidentally better than his first serves.
Let's go! Goodness, that was insane. That is not something Hercules is known for. That was an unbelievable dig out. One might almost venture to call that pure luck. But he's going to take
I would venture to
anything.
call that Medvedevian.
That was simply Medvedevian. He's going to need to take that momentum. He may not be able to claw back this set, but he's going to have to remember that he has those capabilities moving forward.
Okay, this is looking serious, but he dumps it. He dumps it, and I think here is a good chance for Hercules.
If you're Beckett,
Even
you
to
have to
claw
be
it back.
disappointed
Oh,
with that.
you're pulling your pants down right now.
Hercules hit a middling forehand at best, lots of time, and Beckett just could not capitalize. It's going to be interesting to see how Beckett recovers mentally moving forwards from that shot, because that was simply terrible.
In. Fuck, you just hit that so bad.
Do you
my
think he
God.
should have let that one go, or do you think that's the correct? We know it did fall in, but should he have tried to play that ball?
Yeah.
I
nice
think
shot.
the problem becomes when you're not a natural tennis player and you're not used to, where these balls are going to land, it's better just to take the shot. And if you miss, you miss. If you make, you make. But you can't leave it up to the chance of will it or will it not fall into the corner.
And and that was a great example at that point. You could see Hercules really a Herculean effort to stay in control at the point here.
And it just demonstrates his athleticism to be able to find his balance on the wet side of the court and be able to steer that in a firm enough fashion to get it just out of Beckett's control center that he won the point. And that's really nice to see. Even though he's down a match point, he's still fighting. Still looking
That's
for ways.
typical one-punch Chungus with the intentional.
The sliding back, lean back, absolutely no forward momentum, duff backhand winner. It's classic and you love to see it.
Oh. Apologies, viewers.
Hello, love. Can I call you back in a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just filming.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I think you can really see a lot of French inspiration in One Punch Chungus's game, and not in a good way, personally.
I would agree with that. And you know what? It does create a flair that a lot of people will love, even if it's completely ineffective and usually the wrong strategy.
Put quite simply, it is much watch tennis.
Round 3 coming up. Let's see what happens next. I went down big in that last one. I start constructing points again. Things are going to be better. Tries to surprise me, but I can't be surprised.
Simon talking to himself, and Beckett goes for the surprise underhand serve and absolutely fumbles it.
You could see how much
Let's go.
traction
Momentum.
Hercules had off the start, standing in that dry patch. If you're going to pick a place to return, that dry patch is among the best.
If you were Beckett and you got inside his mind, what was he thinking when he sent that underhand serve in on the first point? What was he trying to prove or accomplish with that move?
I'm not sure he was thinking.
No, my God.
As opposed to Hercules, who was clearly thinking several things consecutively during that shank into the bottom of the net.
It was a rally in which he had total control, only to let it completely fall by the wayside with, what can only be described as one of the worst athletic demonstrations I've ever seen.
And a second dumpage into the net, and you can tell One Punch Chungus, that's his favorite thing to see.
Yes.
Self-destruction. He loves when players do that.
Hercules is going to need to
Why is
get
it 2-1?
his train back on the tracks quickly before he absolutely explodes in a fit of rage. We'll see if he can do it.
No. We're regrouping. We're in position A. We let it go. That's okay.
Ooh, and One Punch
Why have you
Chungus
hit a
punishes
few second
Simon for
serves
those
better
2
than
bad
any of the
misses
first
with
serves? I
a
don't know,
big
but-
second serve.
How do you feel about the forehand slice return for Hercules? Because I
3-1.
don't love it.
You know what? It's tough to see, especially against a player like Chungus, who can handle that slower ball, shorten the court so well with his forehand. It's not the right play, not something I'd suggest. But now we move on to another rally where Simon is at the net, but not quite where he should be. He's a little bit too far behind, and that's keeping Chungus in until he gets one back that Hercules simply cannot put away. He sends it long. This is devastating for Hercules' cycle. psyche, I should say.
Yeah, you can really tell that Hercules gets energized from finishing points at the net. He's been relentless in moving forward until he gets to the service line where that is far enough.
But I made him run. All right, 1-4.
I have talked to Hercules' coach. They are working on getting him to actually continue moving all the way up instead of stopping in no man's land. Will he be able to make those adjustments for his next match? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, unfortunately, this is the game
Still
he's stuck
all
with,
the way
and
to
we're going
go.
to have to watch if he can
2-4.
make it work.
That's it.
That's a good jam serve. Really hard to get your two-handed
And
backhand
that's
out of
pretty
the
better
way
than
for that one.
Pretty
And
much the whole
Hercules
way
is
he
still
was
going for it. You can hear himself
Yeah.
talking. He knows he played better in every single point up until this moment, and he's just not getting paid off with that effort. But if you keep investing, if you keep making the effort, eventually you hope that things will fall into place. And look at how he gets rewarded with one punch Chungus double faulting by a
Did you hear
margin
me? Do you want to
rarely
hinder?
seen on camera. I
That
mean,
is-
he missed that second serve by a counting mile.
That's a
and
good point.
Simon Hercules Kuhl
was wise of us
is
putting that in there.
position A. He's the
4-4,
better
tie
player,
ball game.
and he is going to try and maximize on this. I can't imagine what's going through One Punch Chungus' mind right now. He knows he stole 4 points, and he is just going to have to try and figure this out as he moves forward.
And we see that shot again for the second time.
What was that?
And that's another one where Simon just absolutely should not be approaching on that shot.
my
It
God.
wasn't even good enough to be a ground stroke from the baseline, let alone an approach shot. I mean, he barely got that
4-5.
past the service line, and Beckett didn't even have to take a step, and he's still somehow angry at One Punch Chungus for hitting a winner on it. I don't know what else to say. That was
Oh my
embarrassing.
God. You had across the court.
Now we're going to have to
There's some
rewind this
drama
one.
here.
There was some drama here. We need a replay, instant replay.
Shut up.
Oh my God. You had across the court. You're so full of it.
You can hear the frustration
starts
in
losing
Hercules'
despite his
voice. He
cheating.
knows he
Fuming.
was wrong. He knows the commissioner is taking a look at this. Potential fines could be in play after the match, but it won't affect the result, and that's what's so damaging about that kind of hook. It's tough to see.
I think this backhand pass was certainly doable.
Don't even look at him. Don't even make eye
Emotions
contact.
bubbling over.
The drama is
Bullshit.
high.
Stay
I
out of my
don't think
peripheral.
these two hang out with each other outside of T2T personally. They
don't think so
they
either.
seem to hate each other.
6-5. 9-5.
You can really see the extra tentativeness on Hercules' backhand there. He's nervous, he's tight, he's feeling the pressure, especially after everything that's happened. Oh, but that was unbelievable.
He overcomes his mental demons
go.
and he stays aggressive, and that's respectable.
Especially after completely missing the serve return, too. Oh my goodness, TennCom, can you talk us through what we just witnessed?
So
That shot may not be quite in my wheelhouse yet.
I actually had a chance to talk
please.
to Hercules' stringer, And
6-8.
he's using a pure Air 98, which is a 16 by
We went
20
for it with
racket.
confidence.
However, the stringer apparently ran out of string and strung it at 16-19, so that would explain that.
Nice stretch volley there by
Still
Hercules. He is still fighting despite that absolutely insane shank miss that he hit the point before.
To me, like,
Big forehand there by One Punch Chungus.
that might be the first time he's taken initiative in a point this whole match.
I would agree, and he got paid handsomely for it.
That's what's coming back at you. Just hit to the same spot.
And he now has 2 match points. He lobs it, and Hercules puts it away.
Puts it away with confidence.
An interesting, almost Tomic-esque looking
thank you.
smash where he turns the racket outside.
My fear was very
and
high.
just kind of flicks it to the opposite corner from where Chungus
8-9.
is. That's nice to see. Oh. And that's the match, folks. One Punch Chungus wins this 6-10, 10-7, 10-8 in what is the inaugural TTT Championship. One Punch Chungus remains victorious. We'll have to talk about who his next matchups are going to be. Where will he go from here? What signings can TTT get in order to make this a compelling league that people will want to watch? What matchups do the viewers want to see? All of these questions and more remain. But what, after watching that, are your main takeaways from this match? And where do each player go from here? What do they need to work on? What are they happy with? What can they improve?
Let's start off first up with our winner. And I would say One Punch Chungus truly put in a terrible effort. I do not know how he won that. I don't think he deserved to win that. All he did was continuously give Hercules short balls the entire time, which is exactly really what Hercules wanted. And on the other hand, with Hercules, it's one thing to want the short ball, and it's another thing to do something with it. So I'd like to see Hercules find his range, find his comfort, really work on closing down that net, whereas I'd like to see One Punch Chungus actually hit the ball.
And it is, like you say, heartbreaking when you get exactly what you want in a match and you just cannot maximize on it. I think Hercules is going to have to go back to the drawing board and really polish up a few corners of his game in order to make sure that he's ready to take the opportunities that are gifted to him from now on. One Punch Chungus is not a high energy player. He does not go out there looking to win rallies time after time after time. He likes to passively see where the... Well, look, obviously I'm pretty disappointed.
I'm a little annoyed that, I had to play 3. I think I should have been able to get it down in 2.
Listen, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to disparage anyone. We all saw what we saw.
Yeah.
We all saw what we saw, and it's going to be up to the commissioners to make sure that kind of thing doesn't happen.
I am nothing but an honest player. No one's ever said that I've ever hooked before in my entire life.
If you're not going to take this interview seriously, I'm done.
So I'm calling out Luca Berg from Rackets and Runners. Get your fucking tier list off the internet, you piece of shit, and come play me in the TTT.